Less than 20% of people who make New Year's resolutions manage to keep them up long term. Let's talk about what you can do to not be one of them. How's it going, guys? My name's Richie Kirwan, and it's that time of year when people decide that they're going to completely reinvent themselves just because the Earth has completed another lap at a completely arbitrary point in its orbit. We'll get to why that sounds just a little sarcastic in a moment. A recent study of over 1,000 people in Sweden revealed that the 3 most popular New Year's resolutions were focused on physical health in 33% of people, losing weight in 20% of people, and better eating habits in 13% of people. So no major surprises there, right? So today we're going to talk about some of the psychology around making and achieving New Year's resolutions, and I'll give you a few tips for helping you stick to them in the long term. So the first thing I want to talk about is the type of goals you set. You can broadly divide goals into 2 categories: avoidance-oriented goals and approach-oriented goals. An avoidance goal is where you tell yourself to avoid or to not do something. So for example, you might tell yourself that you're not going to eat donuts anymore, which honestly sounds terribly sad. And you might say that you're going to stop spending too much time sitting watching the TV. Just from that really short description, you can probably already get a feeling that avoidance goals focus on something negative that you shouldn't have in your life. And it's true that thinking like that can make us put too much of a negative moral value on eating certain foods or certain habits we might consider to be lazy. Well, the opposite of avoidance goals are approach goals. These are goals that we actively move towards. So for example, eat more fruit would be an approach-oriented goal because you're actively trying to add more fruit to your diet. Another example would be to go for more walks. Again, these goals don't have an automatic negative connotation surrounding them. These goals focus on positive habits that you should strive for because they're good, not things that you should avoid because they're bad. This type of negative reinforcement based around avoidance has been shown to lead people to having poor feelings of well-being, which is understandable if your life is focused on avoiding things you think of as being bad. On top of that, some research shows that people with approach goals are more likely to achieve them than people with avoidance goals. So bear that in mind when you're thinking of your New Year's resolutions. So instead of thinking about what do I need to avoid, instead think about what do I want to focus on including in my life instead. More exercise, more protein, more whole foods, more sleep. Let's try and change the way you frame your goals to be more positive. Okay, the next tip is actually to plan your goals. And I don't just mean to write them down. You see, lots of people will write down some super simplistic goals at the start of the year, like build 10 kilograms of muscle or get healthier or get a girlfriend without any further thinking. There's not a lot of thought gone into these goals, so it's no surprise that they rarely work out. Research in the field of psychology tells us that having a goal hierarchy might be useful for helping you to plan better goals. A goal hierarchy is a set of different levels of goal complexity and importance. At the very top of the hierarchy is the new ideal version of you you're trying to achieve. To get to that ideal version of you, you have a few major goals which are called super-ordinate goals. These are goals that you associate with the ideal version of yourself. So for example, to be successful or to be healthy are super-ordinate goals. These are the major goals you want to achieve, and thinking about these overarching goals can help you stay focused on what you want to achieve. The problem with superordinate goals is they're not very specific, and that's a major problem. That's why we need to drop down a level to intermediate goals. Intermediate goals are a little more specific than superordinate goals. So for example, if your superordinate goal is to be healthy, your intermediate goals might be to build a stronger body, or to eat a healthier diet, or to get better sleep. If you think of superordinate goals as being like a video game, in this case the video game of life, intermediate goals are like subquests or individual levels. And just like in games, to beat a level, you need to do a lot of specific tasks, like solve puzzles or fight bad guys. These individual, specific tasks are called sub-ordinate goals. And sub-ordinate goals are the goals you try to achieve in your daily life. So if your intermediate goal is to build a stronger body, your sub-ordinate goal might be to go to the gym 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. before work. The more specific you get with the subordinate goals, the better. Plan them out beforehand, so you don't need to plan them out right before you have to do them. Subordinate goals can be even further divided into smaller goals too, to make them manageable. So if your goal is to go to the gym, you can further divide this into 8 to 12 reps for 4 sets each of bench press, squats, bicep curls, and lat pull downs, or whatever you're trying to achieve. The reason you might want to create all these levels of goals is because if you focus on small subordinate goals alone, once you've completed them, it can feel like you're done and there's nothing left to do. But if you tie all of your subordinate goals into intermediate goals and all of those into a superordinate goal, it can help you focus on the big picture, which might help you to stick to your goals long term. So, to give another example, if your superordinate goal is to be healthy, you can break this down into a few intermediate goals. One of those intermediate goals could be to eat a better diet. And you can break this down further into subordinate goals like eat 2 portions of fruit at breakfast, have at least 30 grams of protein at each meal, or swap refined carbs for whole, unprocessed carbs at meals. Give it a try and you may be surprised at how this level of planning can help you to stick to your goals long term. Another tip for helping you to achieve your goals is to get support when you can. It's very easy to be really gung-ho about a new goal and to throw yourself into achieving it, even though you might not be completely sure about how the best way is to do it. What I mean by this is, I know of plenty of people who've said that their New Year's resolution was to eat better or start exercising, even though they're not really sure what that actually looks like in practice. You might be one of those people, and a good way to know if you are is that you regularly make big resolutions, but don't manage to stick to them very long. In cases like this, getting support or help or guidance from someone who knows what they're doing and who knows how to help other people can be a game changer. If you want to start exercising regularly, could you benefit from a personal trainer who could teach you how to work out or who could program your workout plan for you? Or if you want to eat better, could you benefit from working with a nutritionist who can help you adapt your current diet, help you build new food habits, or teach you how to prepare healthier meals? It took me a lot of time through years of formal education and trial and error in coaching to learn how to help people to eat more healthfully. Now I can teach that to people in a few months. It really skips a lot of pain and a lot of time. This is why getting a coach can be so beneficial. You're saving time and the whole process of trial and error by paying for someone's expertise. On top of that, having support from a coach adds a layer of accountability that might keep you motivated to stick to your goals. Now, this next tip is more of a question. Do you really need to make a New Year's resolution specifically? Think about it. Have you ever made a New Year's resolution? Tried to keep it up for a week or so, only for your motivation to fizzle out until you finally admit to yourself, I guess I'll just try again next year. Sound familiar? Or have you ever said to yourself after eating a massive meal out midweek, oh well, I'll start the diet again on Monday? In these cases, New Year's and Monday are called temporal landmarks. These are points in time that we associate with new beginnings or times that allow us to change. In reality, there's nothing special about these times, but our minds and society associate some special power with them. The problem with temporal landmarks is that we can decide to separate ourselves into 2 distinct concepts. Ourselves before the temporal landmark and ourselves after the temporal landmark. What happens is we like to put all the responsibility of change onto our future selves after the landmark. When that happens, our current selves can feel that they don't really have to do anything right now because everything is going to magically change with the power of the new temporal landmark. Think about it. How many times have you said to yourself, that's future me's problem? Sure, temporal landmarks like New Year's or Mondays can help with motivation, but that's not very useful if you keep deciding to put it off to the next time when things don't go to plan. Instead of focusing on temporal landmarks, try to focus on the specific actions that you can do every day to help take you closer to achieving your goals. So instead of focusing on big magic times of change like New Year's, focus on the here and now and what actions you can take to make a difference. I'll keep this last point really simple. Stop trying to be perfect. If you're waiting for things to be perfect to reach your goals, you'll never get them. If you give up on exercise for the week because you missed one session, you're making things harder for yourself. If you give up on healthy eating for the rest of the week because you ate a donut, you'll find it really hard to be consistent with your diet. We're often sold a fake ideal on social media. We might think that our favorite influencers apparently work out every day, twice a day for a couple of hours each time, or that they count every macro to the gram and only eat clean foods, which is a terrible word anyway. It's all total bullshit because it makes us feel that to achieve our diet or fitness goals, we need to be perfect. Here's the truth. You don't need to be, and in fact, you can't be perfect. Perfection is a myth, an impossibility that holds us back from achieving all that we can. As soon as you realize perfection is impossible, you will stop caring about the little slip-ups you will inevitably meet along the road to building a better you. Forget about perfection. It's a lie. These are only a few ways that you can help to make your goals a reality, any time of year and not just at New Year's. Let me know what you think of these tips, and let me know in the comments if you have any others that you found really useful yourself. And as always, remember to like and subscribe to the Myprotein YouTube channel for more great evidence-based nutrition information.